Hey, Ed,
Yeah.
did you ever had a date that went off the rails?
Yeah, I think it was the first date we had.
It was.
Yeah. Well, if they want to know about that, they're going to have to hang in there and wait. But I know that it's about other stories that went off the
Exactly.
rails.
So stay tuned. This
Oh,
one you cannot miss.
I can't wait.
Welcome to the Kiss the Frog Show.
All right. Before we get into it,
Yes,
we
this
want
is
to
for
introduce
It's
ourselves.
your girl Shaw.
And Shirak. And I am Ed. And go ahead. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
and this is for entertainment
Purposes only. Do your own.
Do your own research.
Yeah, this is what we call helpful entertainment, meaning, it's entertaining, but hopefully it can also be helpful if you're in the dating world.
Exactly.
And if not, this will hopefully make you laugh.
Yeah.
But, okay. So before we get into all the stories, we are first going to talk about our first date. So our first date, I agreed to go on Shirak's show because back then it was kind of like a version of Kiss the Frogs. Actually, we started the earlier version of Kiss the Frogs years ago, so we're restarting the show all over again. And basically, our first date was Shirak not interrogating me, I'm teasing, asking me questions about myself. So it was smart because she's using the first date to really get to know me and would be on the record because it'd be recorded and people in the local areas local cable TV would know all about it. So
Yeah, that was pretty.
it was
that was
pretty
pretty
slick.
cool.
So that kind of went off the rails a little bit. I'm teasing,
That's an interesting first date. Can you?
Oh,
imagine
yeah,
that?
definitely. So this one is when it goes off the rails. I don't know what the squirrel is there pointing there, but these stories today are a little bit on the short side. Okay, so we'll probably have a little more commentary. Sometimes they're longer, sometimes they're shorter, depending on the material that we get. Again, we're still waiting for people to send in their stories, which we'll get to
Exactly.
towards the end. But if not, let's get ready to roll with our first story. And the story is called The Guy Who Brought His Pet Snake to Dinner.
Oh.
All right. You can only imagine, guys, already, right? All right, let's start rolling with this one. Okay. Emily met Chris on a dating app. His profile said he loved nature, honesty, and meaningful connections. He looked normal. He had a good smile, decent job, a picture with a golden retriever. You know what women don't like men with dogs, right? Nothing about snakes. When he asked her to dinner at a cozy bistro, she figured it was going to be, a standard first date. We get appetizers, good conversation, maybe dessert if it went well, see how it goes. So Chris showed up wearing sunglasses indoors, which is kind of weird, and carrying a bulging backpack. You love the surprise, he said. Emily smiled politely, thinking maybe it was flowers inside. But instead, he gently unzipped his bag and whispered, "Say hi to Sapphire." Out slithered a 3-foot corn snake, flickering his tongue right onto the breadsticks. Everyone in a 10-foot radius froze. One woman dropped her fork. The waiter mouthed, "Is that real?" Chris smiled proudly. "She's harmless." Where am I? I lost my spot. Sorry. She's harmless. Come on. She helps me relax. He placed Sapphire on the table as if introducing a dinner guest. Emily tried to stay calm. "Oh, wow. You bring her everywhere?" "Of course," he said. "She senses bad vibes before I do." "Bad vibes?" "Yeah, like the ones currently crawling up Emily's spine." The date went downhill fast. She compared the snake's personality to his ex. "She's territorial," insisted Sapphire understood him better than people, and told a long story about the time he almost got banned from the movie theater for trying to share the popcorn experience, whatever that means. When the waiter timidly approached, Sapphire was now coiled around the salt shaker like a centerpiece. "Would either of you like dessert?" she whispered. Emily said, "Just to check." "And maybe some holy water." Chris looked genuinely confused when she stood up. "Wait, yeah, you leaving?" Sapphire really vibed with you. Emily grabbed her purse, smiled tightly, I'm allergic to reptiles and red flags. That night, she got a text. Sapphire, sad you ghosted us. She blocked him instantly. Her friends now joke that any man who says good with animals should come with, species list first. I think it's more than just that. Let me go back to this. So you go first, and then I'll go.
Yeah, this is definitely a kind of off the rails because he didn't mention anything, right, about bringing a sapphire, a snake, which is interesting. And someone dropped a fork. I'm surprised someone just didn't ran out the restaurant.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that like it's a health habit? You can't be just having that inside of a restaurant, right? Where food is at.
Right.
Yeah, that was really interesting.
Yeah, and she was right about those red flags. I mean, that's just and here's the thing. So that's one thing to first of all bring to Pat. He should have said something, right?
Yes.
Okay, there's a bunch of things wrong. I want to list them. You know me, I'm Mr. Analytic. Like I list everything. One, should have had on his profile about snakes because not everybody's into snakes. Plus, you want to get the right person. And then you probably want to put a description how the snake is close and you vibe with the snake, what he said on the date. Some of that should have been in there. People think he's a little weird. That's fine. But the people he does get hits on will be more vibing to his type of personality and his type of world. Number two, yeah, definitely list the snake out and mention that you have him, you like him, you bring him around, et cetera, et cetera. The third thing, I forgot what the third thing is already. Even if all that, it seemed his relationship with snakes also sent a red flag of like, okay, the way he's talking, maybe he's trying to be funny, I think he was trying to be funny, but it almost comes up as creepy, like a little mentally ill. Somebody could take that the wrong way, like, what do you mean you talk to your snake or your snake's like this or your snake's like that? It's kind of it's kind of creepy.
It is.
But, people have to be who they are, right?
Exactly. Right. I agree with that as well. But you got to think of it this way. Like this actually brought back some memories because I'm in the HR world, right? And I actually interviewed this woman and, and I was like, okay. And so I told her she got the job after we did all the background check. The first day of work, she comes in with an animal. And I'm like, what are you doing with the animal? She's like, the animal name was Poopsie, and Poopsie come with me everywhere. So it was like that Poopsie wasn't with you when you did this interview. So this is what happened. That date would have never happened if he would have talked about maybe the snake and all of that, right? Because that would have creeped people out. So
exactly,
people want to hide.
That's the worst explanation I've ever heard.
Exactly.
So people want to hide things about them, and they want you to see their presence first, and then maybe after they are there, then it's like, it's too late.
Yeah.
He's here.
Yeah, but the thing is, because once you find out, they're clearly going to know.
It's not going to work.
Exactly. So why bother? That one was a weird one.
That was.
Okay. Are you ready for story 2?
Number 2.
Number 2. All right, let's do this. And let's get on to story 2. Oh, these titles. The girl who brought her ex. Spiritually.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sounds a little better, but.
Sounds a little. Yeah, but better. It sounds a little freaking weird.
I know, but imagine going someplace and having your ex and like, oh, my ex is outside.
Oh, that's weird. Well, I had.
You drove me here.
I was on a date and I had a woman constantly getting phone calls with her ex-boyfriend who she's still in contact with during the date. I'm like, what the heck? All right, let's start. Marcus wasn't new to first dates. He had his fair share of awkward ones, but this was a new level. He met Lily online. Her profile said she was intuitive, creative, and guided by the moon. Okay, time out real quickly. You hear that, guys, you gotta know she's probably pagan, which I'm not, I'm not here to judge. I'm just saying strictly out. She's into astronomy or something. A little eccentric. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think you kind of you could get the
unless
drift
you into that too. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but that, she's going to be a little bit into that. I think that's a little hint. Okay, anyhow. He figured that meant she liked astrology, memes, and candles. just like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was right. That's what it means. But they met at a small coffee shop downtown. Lily was friendly, talkative, and oddly intense. Within 5 minutes, she brought up her ex, Dylan. He's not in my life anymore, she said dramatically, but his energy still lingers. Marcus nodded politely, assuming she meant emotionally. Nope. She leaned in and whispered, sometimes I see him.
Ooh,
Not physically,
spiritually.
Marcus blinked. Like in dreams? She shook her head. No, in mirrors. He appears when he's thinking about me. Before he could respond, she reached into her oversized tote and pulled out a crystal pendulum. She brought this to test our energy compatibility. She said she dangled it between them, staring at it intensely. If it swings clockwise, our spirits are aligned. It didn't move. She frowned. You might have blockages. Marcus took a cautious sip of coffee. Then she pulled out a bundle of sage. That's this in the place. I need to clear the interference, she said. And before he could stop her, she lit it inside the cafe. That's how I'm cracking up.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke billowed. Other customers coughed. The barbista, I can never say that right, yelled, "Ma'am, you can't." Shh, she said, waving the smoke in circles around Marcus. I'm freeing his aura from past pain.
Out.
Marcus' eyes watered, whispered, I think my aura just wants to breathe. The manager approached. You need to put that out or leave. Lily sighed dramatically. The modern world has no respect for spiritual hygiene. Marcus apologized, grabbed his coat, and bolted for the door. 10 minutes later, she texted, I could feel your spirit running. It's okay. I saved your seat. You're safe now. Later that week, she posted on Instagram, tried dating again, but his energy wasn't ready for a divine union. Marcus blocked her faster than she could chakra. Now he jokes that before any first date, he makes sure the restaurant has no mirrors, no incense, and definitely no open flames.
It's crazy.
That one is interesting. Okay, Let's go back to our main talking points here. All right, you go first and I'll go next.
So this is the thing. Usually you're supposed to be having conversations on the phone, maybe a week or two, like we did. We actually spoke 2 weeks. I know you had COVID, but...
I'm making sure your aura is in the right position.
I don't know if it
You seem tense. Where's my smoke?
Anyway.
Right?
I think all of this should have been catch right before that date. Like, why are you going on a date and you finding out all of this crazy stuff that's happening? And they should have, she didn't talk about this during phone conversations.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know.
It doesn't make sense to me.
Exactly. Like, she should say a little bit. There was a little hint, like I said, about the moon and all that. He could have, and again, why going for ask more questions?
Mm-hmm.
Like when you see something like that, ask, hey, are you into astrology? Like, are you a pagan witch? What do you find out more information and see, and if you're not into that thing, then that's something that you can move right away. Now, even if she said yes and he was open to that, that would still be a shocker. I don't think, how many people take out freaking sage and start staging the place.
Exactly.
So
but
I don't know.
I think he did the right thing.
Yeah, he was.
Some people they'll still stay and he like mingle and say, okay, let me just. This is just one phase.
No, babe, he was.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Exactly. So I don't think I have any more to say about that. It's just like if you're in. I would say to anybody, and again, we're not judging. We're just saying, hey, listen, if you're into these like other things, like if you're really worldly, if you're like, say, even if you're a Christian or you're Jewish, or you got some religion that you are really into, or if there's a hobby that you're really into, or part of your life involves animals, or if there's something that's really a major part of you, whether it be a hobby, spiritual, whatever, it's important to bring that up, ahead of time going into first. You don't have to go on and on and on, but at least let them know, because the other person might want to know what you're into. This one, it's hard to predict it, because come on now.
Well, this is what I want to say as well. Like if they would have been like us, we've been like on the phone for 2 hours at a time every night. We spoke to we spoke with each other. Like if something should come up eventually, like
I would think
a week or two, and be like, okay, let's just.
I'll be honest with you. I was expecting the story when she took out the pendulum. I mean, come on, to hold it completely still. You got to have like a surgeon's hand to keep it still. I thought she was going to be like, "Oh, look, it's moving back and forth. I can tell we're a good match." Oh, I don't know. With that one, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
So, guys, these stories are great. We get these stories from various places, but we want to start getting stories from you. And again, we're not going to read anything that's vindictive. This is not a show where you're going to bash your ex or try to get even. We're not going to read those type of stories. We want to hear something kind of funny, cringy, entertaining. I know a lot of you write very well. We want to hear it. And you can go to our website, kissthefrogs.com, and click on share your story and put in. And also some love stories. We won't mind doing a love story episode too. Nice, some success stuff. Why not? We're not just all about, Kiss the Frogs is like many frogs, but there's got to be a prince or princess out there.
Exactly. And we want to hear those prince or princesses stories as well.
That's right.
Because those ones say there is hope.
Yeah.
That's what everyone say. Yeah. Have people's like, there's no one for me. And it's like, yeah, there is someone. Could be. But you got to kiss maybe a lot of frogs.
A lot of frogs. It's what it is. It doesn't get easier. But anyhow, thank you so much for watching. You. And
see you next time
we'll
on
Kiss the Frogs.
Hope to see you next time on Kiss the Frogs.